So the WNBA expansion draft is happening soon, and every team has already submitted the players that they have to.
The Indiana Fever simply lost their social media accounts, accounting for a single erased day. Post revealed their full growth. Last night's draft plan with 6.2 million viewers of Caitlin Clark's This Leak's every action couldn't come at a worse moment for Golden. The NBA's newest franchise, the State Valkyries, are prepared to steal the top, valued at $122 million for the front of Indiana. The office was placed under total lockdown following, according to team sources, the post vanished. Increasing anxiety as November 25th approaches, the deadline for protection draws near, but the leaked roster list was a true surprise. Omitted a vital player. Is this the largest error in the front office since Elena, the 2017 trade of Del Don catastrophe?
So lads, the Indiana Fever might be making a huge mistake. Again, this is a might because you just never know. You never know when it comes to things like this because you don't know how players pan out. You don't know. Maybe you're overrating a player, maybe you're underrating a player. But it's always kind of hard to tell when it comes to young players. But
prior to delving further into this enormous tale, allow me to down what's truly taking place in Indiana's current WNBA expansion draft isn't your typical draft. It's an uncommon occurrence that has the power to future of the Golden State franchise in 2025. Valkyries will enter the league because they want every squad to have talent. 6 players must be protected in the WNBA, making the others susceptible to being taken over by the new well. This is where things start to get intriguing. For a few hours on November 24th, prior to the protection deadline, the social media crew for the Indiana Fever shared what appeared to be a naive photo. Coach Stephanie White gladly stood alongside the post. Coincidentally featured exactly 6 players. Disappeared in 45 minutes, but not before keen-eyed admirers submitted the WNBA community screenshots. In a panic, let's discuss numbers for a second. The market value of the Fever surged. After selecting Caitlin Clark, by 47%, their sales of items reached a record high, with Clark's jersey emerging as the WNBA's top-selling rookie jersey. Season ticket renewals for history are now available, 300% more than the previous year, which is here. The compromised picture revealed Clark is positioned in the center with Kelsey Mitchell, Lexi Hall, Aaliyah Boston, Tammy Bentley, and Alyssa Smith. These a total of 6 players' salaries, $846,000 cap hit for the 2024 season. The worst part is that the Fever is still present. A promising guard, Grace Berger, has this rookie contract is team-friendly. List that insiders in the industry are talking about. Alyssa Smith's circumstances following the contentious eye poke incident that occurred during her popular TikTok video and her practice that led to tension in the locker room. Defending Smith against more youthful talent has asked important questions. One anonymous A-League executive informed me that this might be the type of choice that plagues her for years. The timing of the franchise couldn't. It's going to get worse for Indiana. Their first trip in the playoffs since 2016, and their attendance figures have increased by 67% since Clark's arrival. The group's pressure to continue doing this momentum is enormous, particularly with there are Valkyries hiding around every corner. Let's discuss about the Valkyries. Regarding their contributions to the table, supported by funds from Silicon Valley and a cutting-edge arena is being constructed in Oakland, will not be joining the league. To supplement their ownership figures, the group has committed $50 million in the first investment, which makes them among the most expanding teams in women's sports with adequate funding. Sports history, and the rules for the expansion draft are vicious squads that can only keep 6 people safe. The Valkyries and players can choose 1 player from every current squad, but the problem is that they can only take 1. In total, unrestricted free agent implies that teams must be strategic about who they fail to safeguard while juggling present talent with the potential to. The stakes couldn't be higher during the Fever. After years of reconstruction, they have finally struck gold with Boston, Clark, and now deal with the risk of losing your key. Their supporting cast members, in essence, the leaked post has provided a sneak peek into Valkyrie's plan, enabling them to organize their draft approach appropriately. Let's dissect every player from the picture that was leaked. The defense of Caitlin Clark is it goes without saying that she averages 21.4 points, leads the league in assists per game, and has already shattered 3 rookie records. Her influence extends beyond court television. Fever game ratings are rising. Since making her debut, Aaliyah Boston has a 156%, another past Rookie of the Year. Her posting career is an easy decision. Peaks for rebounds, 8, 2, points, 16, 8, and blocks 2. 1. She and Clark's chemistry has been their pick and roll is electrifying. Combo turning into one of the most. Kelsey Mitchell is effective in the league. Provides seasoned leadership and reliable scoring. She is in her last year of contract, but team close sources show that they intend to utilize their essential classification to maintain her in Indiana. Her 42% three-point shooting and 18.2 points per game. Her ability to fire points makes her crucial to the team's spacing. Let's now discuss the inclusion of Lexi Hull in the protected list. May catch casual fans off guard, but the Hull's data reveal a different picture. Of all WNBA guards, defensive rating is the highest, at a remarkable 92.4, and the percentage increased by 3 points from 32%. This season, she's holding 38% opponents to only 34% of the field when she is the main defender, which is the sort of championship teams with glue players need. The actual dispute begins with Nalissa Smith's innate ability. She is clearly averaging 12.4 points and a player's 7.3 rebounds per game efficiency score of 18.2, but the drama in the off-court has been a continual distraction that makes the eye swell. A practice-related incident resulted in the team's 3-game suspension cost them. She is pushed by important playoff games. Posts on social media have apparently created conflict in the changing area, with 3 seasoned athletes are asking for private consultations with coaching personnel. Several sources attest to the fact that the Las Vegas Aces are among the clubs that have asked about possible deals already. Tammy Bentley's defense is possibly the puzzle's most perplexing component. While she offers veterans presence, her numbers have decreased. Notably, since the middle of the season, she's just 5.2 points and 4.1 on average rebounds in her last 15 games, which is less than 6.3 rebounds and 8.7 points in the opening. Her effect on defense for half of the season has decreased with opponents as well, shooting 47% in the paint up versus her from 38% in the first few months of the year. According to WNBA analysts, this might be a smokescreen for a more significant action.
95% chance the Golden State Valkyries select Grace Berger. She is young. She's like 24 maybe. She is a 6-foot tall point guard. She can shoot the ball. She led the W in 3-point percentage 2 seasons ago. And she's also can handle. She can pass. She can defend.
However, this is what's causing the fever. At night, the players left the supporters up. Grace Berger displayed flashes while unprotected. As Brilliance's backup shooter for Clark, a remarkable 44% three-point shooting percentage in brief appearances during games where she played more than 20 minutes, averaging 9.2, 4, 8 assists and points with a favorable +5. 2 league scouts less plus portray her as a potential starting player. Guard with a single Eastern Conference executive, contrasting her abilities with Courtney Vander's departure from her being unprotected could backfire Indiana for many years to come. The Golden State, the front desk of Valkyries, needs to be their analytics department, is salivating. Past NBA executives in charge of the Golden State Warriors have been getting ready. 4 months on this draft. They have created an exclusive scouting system that takes into account both conventional statistics and sophisticated metrics. They possess $5.7 million in capital to accommodate larger contracts, as well as the marketing apparatus to transform role players into one star. According to Valkyrie source, they've already located 3 possible franchise pillars from the most likely pool of vulnerable players. Let's talk about money. The NBA's new TV deal briefly possibly begins next season. The salary cap was doubled from $1.4 to between $1 million and $2.8 million. Players could recognize their worth if left unprotected. Increased dramatically under the new financial youthful guys on rookie landscape. Berger contracts get even more useful as groups attempt to control their today's decisions on cap space. The fever might cost them millions in trade in the future. Assets that removed the post on social media may have simply extended their hand. As the newest powerhouse in the league, the response from fans has been fierce. Trending with more than 50,000 followers on Twitter. Tweets from the team throughout the past 24 hours. Engagement on Instagram has increased. 312 season ticket holders since the leak are clogging the phone lines of the squad. One fan group has even demanded responses. Created a petition on Change.org to save Grace Berger is collecting 15,000 signatures. Within 6 hours, including Caitlin Clark's dad, posted a mysterious message on Twitter. Moments of interest in Indy Trust. The tweet received 100,000 likes. Prior to deletion, keep in mind when the nucleus of Detroit shock was lost and they went from the 2009 dispersal draft to champions that are having difficulty making the moving to Tulsa for the playoffs. The Fever is moving in a comparable tight RPP. One mistake could cause years to pass of meticulous reconstruction over the following 48 hours is essential to the franchise's. Prominent sources close to the group recommend, perhaps there is more to this tale than to the eye. There are whispers circulating regarding possible transactions involving 3 teams, that there are discussions about protected players. European draft choices who are not signed who might be involved in the equation? Global players at the moment competing abroad could alter the whole landscape. The removed article could be only the beginning of a much larger, broader plan for roster change, that the WNBA community is waiting. Will Indiana follow the list that was leaked, or was this a complex deception that there are shocking last-minute alterations? What happens to the players, everyone? Unguarded, and how will they react to being exposed, as the responses will influence more than only the Fever's future, but the league as a whole. Balance of competition for years to come. The expansion draft is one thing that is definite. Simply become much more fascinating. The league squad is observing Indiana's. The Valkyries front office's next move is most likely putting in extra time to analyze in any event that could arise. Agents are trying to obtain clarity by working the phones on the circumstances of their clientele. The ripple. There will be consequences from this release. Across the league, examining the historical precedent for expansion drafts makes this circumstance even more. Fireworks during the Atlanta Dream in 2008. Expansion teams that disclosed security information data showed 2-3 trades on average. Offers for their players who were exposed earlier. The official list submission in a timely manner. Looking ahead to today, the stakes are substantially larger. Market for Fever value has risen by 32% from Clark is drafted into every roster. Choice. A multimillion-dollar risk. Sports betting markets behind the scenes are reacting to the disclosure. Vegas forecasts for the 2025 Fever. The likelihood of winning a championship decreased from 800 to more than 1,200 hours after the analysts of post-go viral betting highlight the lack of clarity about the group's roster stability as a key element. That why the market despises uncertainty. This time, experienced oddsmaker Jimmy Peterson leak produced a lot of it. The players' psychological effects cannot be failed to consider. Either sports psychologist Dr. Sarah Martinez, who collaborates with many bot teams, described their public exposure as the athlete may be impacted by unguarded team dynamics and performance are similar to determining you're expendable by social media. That is difficult to comprehend. Training sessions following the disclosure of one practice has reportedly been tense. The Observer saw a lot less players. More interaction than typical with some players who seem preoccupied or reluctant to participate in coaching scrimmages. Employees have planned extra private consultations to resolve issues and continue to concentrate on the global angle. Adds yet another level of intricacy. 3 European teams have already contacted representatives of perhaps Fever players without protection, detecting and chance to entice talent abroad. The Bacha, the Turkish powerhouse, has allegedly made significant proposals for any players who are exposed with media coverage of international experiences has taken up beyond sports channels. Mainstream media are becoming more. The narrative presents it as a warning story about handling social media, and the occurrence has occurred in professional sports. Even generated conversations on digital security measures used by other corporate sponsors of professional leagues are keeping a careful eye on the Fever's. Significant healthcare organization sponsored by Maine Jersey, the provider has called for an urgent meeting with the 8-team executives. Performance is included in the $1 million yearly deal, with provisions for stability that could be impacted by significant roster interruptions. Nearby companies in the Gainbridge area Fieldhouse is also worried. Maria Rodriguez, restaurant owner whose 40% of the establishment's revenue rise on game days, indicates that we constructed our Fever home games as a business concept. Any danger to the success of the team impacts the timing couldn't be better for the entire community. More important for vendors of goods, either sales forecasts for the Christmas season were predicated on roster consistency, with Clark jerseys are anticipated to sell for $3.2 million in sales alone in December. The uncertainty has led some retailers to modify their inventory orders. Previously, Jim Thompson, a WNBA executive, offered furthermore, that is the reason for this leak. Its timing is very harmful. Teams typically have a back channel communications pertaining to safety tactics that compelled Indiana to and stopped negotiating leverage that social media interaction has achieved previously unheard of heights on TikTok. Over 50 million have been generated by creators. Opinions on content pertaining to fever in the fan hypotheses for the last 24 hours range from believable to outrageous, with some implying that the leak was a deliberate marketing gimmick for the group's members. The relations department is putting in extra hours. Focus groups with season ticket holders have been hurriedly set up to measure the fan. Nevertheless, preliminary feedback points to a 50-50 between those in favor of the apparent plan and those advocating for modifies. Youth basketball initiatives connected to the fever are experiencing the effect that local coaches report. Young players' inquiries have soared about career stability and team loyalty. Young players are idolized by young children. Marcus Williams, the AA coach, they're gaining difficult knowledge about the basketball's commercial side. Other WNBA markets are keeping a careful eye on the scenario. Team assessments throughout the league may be impacted by the way this business analysts for Plays Out Sports estimate that a successful expansion will a new benchmark could be set by the draft approach. For the development of franchises, the Players Union has also paid attention. While they haven't released a formal, several sources claim to be keeping an eye on the circumstances surrounding a possible contract. Consequences for the next collective negotiations for a negotiating agreement could add new provisions about the roster. Technology for protective announcements specialists are offering their opinions on the social this incident's media aspect. The requirement for many levels of approval mechanisms for posting on social media by Team State. Rachel Chen is a consultant for digital security. A single individual should not have unilateral posting power for the next defense. A pressure cooker has been produced by the deadline. Surroundings inside the company. Employees say there is more security. Actions, such as team phone checks facilities, including the practice facility. The cafeteria has instituted a phone-free policy to stop additional leaks. Because this as the tale progresses, one thing becomes more obvious, that the WNBA is a multifaceted environment where social player welfare, media fan interaction, and the intersection of commercial interests and fevers. This is used as a case study in professional crisis management. Sports teams, don't forget to hit the notification bell and subscribe button to remain informed about this development in circumstances. We'll return with exclusive discussion of the last protection list and its immediate consequences. Please drop your forecasts below. What was finalized? What modifications do you anticipate from Indiana's front desk? Till the next time, maintain your focuses on the fever, because in the headlines of professional sports tomorrow are being composed today.